It was announced this week that Ayman al-Zawahiri, the leader of al-Qaeda, had been killed in a drone strike, which is the sort of thing that people like Marjorie Greene are supposed to want. I mean, he's an enemy of America. He has presided over missions that have killed literally thousands of American service members and civilians, as well as many people of other countries as well. Also, he's Muslim, so you know she's into that part of it at least. And yet she's got some misgivings about this whole thing. And she wants you to pump the brakes on being happy, or at the very least, congratulating Biden on what was done. So here is what she had to say. I would almost say it's a stream of consciousness thing, but that implies consciousness. It's a thread. Let's read it. She says, November is coming and proxy war with Russia, killing more people and grinding Ukraine to a stump, which I guess is an expression, is not as popular with voters as the admin thought it would be. The White House admin looks extremely weak and controlled by Zelensky and the global world order, but don't be fooled. Yes, of course, as always, they're being controlled by someone abroad. I guess now it's Zelensky or whatever. But also, if you're not convinced by that, or if you're one of the Republicans that doesn't have a negative view of Zelensky, she throws in the global world order. You can read that as Jewish people. That's what she means. It's global Jewish people. It's insane, but there it is. She goes on to say they are not done with weapons sales and money laundering in the form of humanitarian aid in Ukraine. They like war with Russia, expanding military bases in Europe, plan to fully rebuild Ukraine and make Americans pay for it. These are not new tricks too. Maintain power and money. But Ukraine is causing problems for weak Dems, upcoming re-elections, and the complaints are loud. So first of all, what is the evidence that Ukraine, whether you agree or disagree with Ukraine policy, that is driving difficulties for candidates? That is a claim that seems to require some evidence. And in fact, the polls have been turning against the Republicans recently. So I don't know, maybe check your math. That implies that she hasn't. So here's where it gets into the Zawahiri thing. They even pivoted back to killing an old al-Qaeda terrorist so Biden could murmur his tough guy talk, claiming he led the killing of Zawahiri. Great thanks and congratulations to those who killed Zawahiri. But after Biden humiliated our military, tucking tail, pulling out of Afghanistan, got 13 of our young soldiers killed, abandoned Americans and armed the Taliban, Biden should be impeached, not taking credit. So we're gonna pause there for a moment. So you should not give him any credit because the guy was old. Okay, you should question the timing of it. Maybe they just took out one of the greatest individual enemies of America because the election is coming up. And that's a bad thing because Biden is a Democrat. If Trump had killed a terrorist in the months leading up to an election, I'm sure she would be just as hesitant to applaud him for that. Anyway, just like the murmur, the tough guy talk, all of this, it is. They saw an opportunity to kill Zawahiri. Now we can talk about the morality or the ethics or the politics of conducting strikes like this inside of the bounds of other countries, of using drone strikes. Even if in this case no civilians were killed, we know that generally these sorts of strikes do kill civilians. There are plenty of things that you could criticize here, but she wants you to imagine that all of this is some sort of politically motivated thing that has no merit on its own, even though she would totally give tons of credit to Trump if he had done it. And you should question it because something Ukraine and Zelensky global world order. It's a piece of news, dude. Just absorb it. I know that you don't like it. You want the wins to only come for the right or whatever, but trying to spin these complicated conspiracy theories about literally every development, no matter how unambiguous, don't you get tired of it at some point? You can just accept hey, good that he did that. I still disagree with him on Afghanistan, but it's probably better that a guy that has killed thousands of people due to his planning isn't still around. I think it really could just be as simple as that, JR. What do you think?
The number one objective for Republicans, especially again, campaigning in election midterm year, is to make sure that credit. After those 5 tweets that she threw out there talking about this, the only one thing that matters is in, I think, the 4th one when she says Biden should be impeached, not taking credit. The one big all capitalized word is not, for taking credit, because that's what they care about. That's the only thing they care about. America first. or your party first, or maybe you're trying to win an election first. And also, they've already lost that battle with Jon Stewart and these veterans that were trying to get some kind of healthcare with these burn pits legislation, and they lost that one too. And they're losing their grip on people still believing they actually give a damn about veterans in the country or anyone else that they have this claim over, these personas and characterizations that we allow the Republican Party to continue to promote themselves as. They actually despise the boys in blue unless they can use them. They despise the military until they can use them. In this particular case, they can't use them because, again, the current administration is a Democratic one. So she still tried to separate that, if you notice again in those same tweets. She's still pointing out, now good job to the military leaders who did it. But Biden, they continue trying to separate it because there'll be enough people that say, you're unhappy about this? And then she will try at least push back to say, no, I congratulated our military. I just said the guy who's in charge as the military did it has nothing to do with it, and in fact is a bad guy. It doesn't have to make any sense as long as you've weaponized your people to hate the other side no matter what they see. America
to filter everything through that. No, you're totally right. We have at least one or two other examples of that. If we could go back to that the last tweet. So she says, this is after Biden humiliated our military, tucking tail, pulling out of Afghanistan. So I'm gonna reiterate what I said yesterday when talking about Tucker Carlson. There are people in America who are anti-war. Basically, none of them are on the right. And I don't care. I really do not care if they imply that they are, if they imply that they're anti-intervention. It's always hypothetical. Whenever you get to the specifics, suddenly it evaporates. So we shouldn't have been there, but how dare you pull us out? She doesn't want us in Ukraine, but she doesn't want us to leave Afghanistan. That pointless war that was resulting in so many, from her words, American young soldiers being killed. If it were up to her, we'd still be there. Because although on some hypothetical level that never comes true, she's against war, you never ever pull out of one because something humiliation. An abstract quality like a country being humiliated means, well, I guess we got to keep spending hundreds of billions of dollars and getting people killed. And she pretends to care about 13 soldiers being killed. Like they were killed by terrorists, but you just got done saying you don't care if we kill terrorists in retaliation. And also, by the way, if those 13 soldiers had been killed by rampaging January 6th insurrectionists, how quick would she be to pretend that it doesn't matter? Anyway, there's more nonsense really fast because we got to move on. If we go to this last graphic, if we were in Afghanistan for so many years, why is it we just found out where he is and finally killed him? Because he just came to Afghanistan this year, you idiot, you massive moron. He wasn't there. Thus, we couldn't know that he was there when he wasn't there. It's like the first fact that all of the articles cite when talking about Zawahiri. He came there after, and then we got him. And I'll remind you, we got him. Anyway, we gotta move on. There's more that could be said. We're gonna move on. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.